about water and urban places. This is Ideanthro. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. A big theme on Ideanthro recently has been our need in water-sensitive urban design to do more with less. So this all came from episode 197, titled Doing More with Less, where I talked about how I had, along with some colleagues, asked several questions that led me to the opinion that the framework and the guiding principles that we should be framing up our water-sensitive urban design actions at the moment was the need to do more stormwater management, more whatever it is. If we want healthy waterways, do more of this stuff to protect them from stormwater impacts, but we need to do it with less money. Now this episode created quite a discussion on LinkedIn, and I learned a lot of useful information from that. However, one of the comments, and this is a comment from Dale Brown, part of the discussion on LinkedIn, was really, really insightful and threw a curveball at me. So I want to share that comment with you and then share with you why I think it was a curveball and why that curveball is important. I haven't really had time to process it further, but in the spirit of kind of keeping this stuff ticking along, we're going to go with it. So what Dale said: "Hi Jack, great question and discussion you've instigated." Thank you, Dale. "We typically get similar figures for most Melbourne councils when we compare progress to date." So he's talking about the figure that says, look, we haven't treated very much of our cities at all so far. We're a long way off where we need to be if we don't want to be having impacts on urban waterways. So we typically get very similar figures for Melbourne councils when we compare progress to date with pollutant roads generated for integrated water management strategies. Interestingly, most councils don't like hearing 200 years. 200 years was the figure I was using in the episode to talk about just how long at the current rate it would take us. Interestingly, don't like hearing 200 years and are prepared to find extra capital to achieve best practice within 50 years. He goes on to say, look, essentially we do need to do more with less. However, it's not necessarily as straightforward as always doing more with less. And this got me thinking. I hadn't even considered, because I've spent so much time in this local government space where funds are constricted, it hadn't occurred to me that when we framed up just how big this challenge is, that the response wouldn't essentially be, oh my God, we can't do it. But the response might be, okay, let's knuckle down, let's do it. It's going to cost money, but let's actually do it. And the reality is there probably should have been an example of this sitting right under my nose, because a few years ago, Moreton Bay Regional Council did their total water cycle management plan, and it does identify that, you know what, we actually need to do quite a lot to treat the city, to treat the area, and they are doing a very good job of heading towards that. I don't have a lot more to say on that at the moment, except to say, okay, this has reframed my thinking to, yeah, right, doing more with less is important, but what's most important, and this was really the point of the original episode, what is most important here is that we ask ourselves the right questions to get the right answer so we can frame this up right. And then we talk about that openly. Because it's by, in the case of these councils that Dale alludes to, it's by them doing the numbers as a part of their integrated water management strategy that comes to the attention of decision makers, and they can make that decision. And they can make the decision of, okay, either we need to do lots more with less, or we're going to find the money to do this, or best of all, let's do both of those two things together. Okay, that's the episode. Thank you for tuning in. Dale, and everyone else for that matter, who had a chat on LinkedIn after that episode, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is exactly what I want to happen from these episodes. I love it. Cool. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Before you go, our best episodes come from your questions. This knowledge base, these discussions that are Ideanthro improve with your contribution. So if there's a topic, an idea, a concept that you would like us to explore, come and ask us. You know where to find us. www.ideanthro.com/contact. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and that place you get your good podcasts from. You know where to find us. We look forward to hearing from you. We'll see you soon.